Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream and welcome to Moonvember. It is November 1st and we're starting out a new month. So, let's talk about what to expect this month. There are many huge catalysts to look forward to. And how high will Bitcoin go? And happy Friday. All right, let's get started. Let's do it. All right, welcome. Hey, we're back above $70,000. Yesterday, a little dip. Yes, we did. We had a little dip. Got a little, I guess, a little fuddish last night, and I was trying to tell you guys, okay, even with all the FUD, we closed October with double-digit green. We still ended up with 11% in October. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. October was still good. We had a lot of people come on yesterday talking bearish and trying to spread all this FUD. No matter what anyone says, we still had an 11% gain in October. And a lot of people forgot about the fact that we were hovering down here in August and September and early October. So, you know, there's that, right? But we're back above 70,000. We're not that far off from our all-time high. And we got a lot of great things happening. Of course, yesterday was a horrible market. We had a horrible market. Tech really suffered. Overall, broader market just really suffered. Today should be a recovery day. This does not help, but we have a asterisk. The U.S. economy added only 12,000 jobs in October. This is like the lowest addition since 2020, since the COVID shutdown. So this is really bad. However, the asterisk, the saving grace is, we have hurricanes, right? Like we had a lot of hurricanes that happened like the last month. So, and the Boeing strike. So we're like blaming on those things. Otherwise, if we didn't have those, and we only had added 12,000 jobs, this would be an absolute disaster. To only add 12,000 jobs in an entire month for the entire nation, that would be really bad. Really bad. But because we have those two things, it kind of saved this job report. But the good thing is unemployment rate stayed at 4.1%. So that's good. Everything in line. You have a little recovery on Tesla, Robinhood, MicroStrategy going up, Apple's down, Meta's down. You know, like Coinbase was down huge yesterday, only a little bit recovery. We'll see. We'll check them out later. All right, so little recovery day so far. Bitcoin is doing well. Yesterday also, like I said, it was a big wipeout day for the longs. We had several big long squeezes, right? I think that was very intentional. And I'm going to show you, there's one major person that kind of caused it too. Not only that, we had, of course, a lot of lettuce hands. And I did say a lot of retail investors sold out yesterday. This proves it. We had $2 billion worth of Bitcoin sold at a loss from short-term holders. Okay. These are the lettuce hands I was talking about. The ones that came in recently, they got scared and they sold at a loss. And had they held for just one more day, they're probably back to even at least. I can't imagine that many people FOMO'd in at 73,000. You know, probably a lot of them bought right around 70 or something like that. But because of yesterday, a lot of people sold at a loss. You know, this is what I try to do, make people not sell at a loss, make people realize that yesterday was just a blip. You know, there were a lot of panic sellers, and you know, that's what happens sometimes. You got to withstand the volatility, withstand the panic. But yeah, $2 billion worth of panic selling from the lettuce hands, that didn't help the situation. What also didn't help was Wisdom Tree, asset manager, ETF manager, ETP manager, all of a sudden dumped 600 million of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, this is a surprise. Out of the blue, they still hold like $1 billion worth of crypto, but all of a sudden they dumped like $500 million out of nowhere. No apparent reason. I don't know. They also became lettuce hands, or they were part of the long squeeze, or they caused the long squeeze. I don't know. This is kind of suspicious. They just sent it to Coinbase. So, you know, this contributed. So that right there is 2 billion, 2.6 billion right there. But this was all sent to Coinbase. I don't know what happened here. I really don't. But yeah, so on top of this, we also had what? I think it was reported $500 million worth of longs being liquidated. All that added together is what contributed to yesterday, right? But despite all that, Bitcoin's back above 70,000. We're going back above. And maybe by the end of today, we're back above 71,000, back to 72,000, and it'll appear like nothing happened, right? This is why we stay in the game and we don't panic. This is the way. You hold on DCA. A lot of people I did see yesterday in chat said, hey, I'm buying more. I'm DCAing. That's what you're supposed to do. When there's buying opportunities, you take advantage, because quite frankly, there's not going to be many opportunities to buy cheap Bitcoin going forward. In reality, 70,000 Bitcoin is not cheap Bitcoin, okay? I mean, we have to face it. Compared to last year when Bitcoin was below 30,000, earlier this year when we were down to 40,000 Bitcoin, 70,000 Bitcoin is not cheap compared to those times. But it is still cheap compared to where we will be next year when Bitcoin hits 200,000. So it's still a good buying opportunity. But, you know, we could have bought, or I should say, a lot of you guys could have bought at much cheaper prices over the years. The ones that sold and caused a lot of FUD, or the naysayers that continued to not believe in Bitcoin, well, they lost their opportunity. And yesterday was a little one, a very little one. 69,000, I guess a very little one. And we're coming up pretty good today. But you know what? You know who didn't lose out on that opportunity yesterday? Despite the massive outflows from some of these other funds, guess who didn't have a massive outflow? No surprise, Big Daddy Larry Fink said, I'm going to be buying. I mean, that's pretty massive. When you have 75 million, 74 million, nearly 100 million leaving the three other funds, you have BlackRock buying 320 million. And we eked out a net positive because of BlackRock alone. That's crazy. That's crazy if you think about it. That's how much BlackRock is now accumulating. I've been tracking, I've been showing you guys BlackRock's numbers. They are now adding at a pace that will have them above Satoshi's number by the end of this year. That's how fast they are now moving. The volume on IBIT is more than all the other funds added together. Not only that, it's more than like triple of everything else added together. That's how much volume and buying there is and how much inflow there is. BlackRock is now going nutty with Bitcoin. It's crazy. Doesn't matter if it's a bad day. They will continue to buy and buy and buy. You can see the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, nothing but inflows, and they're massive inflows. That is not going to stop. And of course, there are whales outside of BlackRock and institutions that are buying too. They realize that when there is a buying opportunity, you buy. Here's a casual $39 million buy. Yeah, when there's a dip, why not? Why not? There's not going to be many dips like that, right? So, again, retail investors, too many fall for it, too many panic sell. You got to learn from these big boys. When there's a buying opportunity, rather than panic sell, you do the opposite. Panic buy. No, you shouldn't panic anything. You shouldn't even panic buy. But the best case scenario is buy the dip if you can, or just hodl, okay? Just don't do anything while you're panicked. That's the best option. MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, he knows this. He tends to panic buy. That's what Saylor does. He just goes and buys. He usually buys at tops, and it doesn't matter because it works out anyways. He's planning on buying 42 billion more. That comes out over the next 3 years. It comes out to be about 40 million a day. I don't know if he's just go do 40 million a day or probably not, but it works out to be about that. But this is just staggering. He put out a slide just comparing MicroStrategy's performance since 2020 versus everything else out there. And he compared it to even Bitcoin, S&P, Magnificent Seven, and individual high flyers like Supermicro and NVIDIA and everything else out there. There is nothing that outperforms MicroStrategy, and all he did was simply buy Bitcoin and put on a balance sheet. The strategy works, and again, it boggles my mind that others have not followed, but there is one that have, Metaplanet in Japan, and guess what? They're the highest performing stock in Japan. All they did was follow the same strategy. They just bought Bitcoin and they keep buying Bitcoin and they're raising money to buy Bitcoin. Obviously, they don't have as much as MicroStrategy, but they're coming close to, I think last count was like $70 million. They have over 1,000 Bitcoin. So they're coming close to 100 million soon. But still, highest performing stock to date, over 1,000%. So obviously the strategy works. I don't know why others are not doing it. Every company should be just saying, I'm going to buy Bitcoin and put on a balance sheet. Even if they don't actually believe it, I don't know why they would not at this point. Even just as a strategy. Doesn't mean they have to go all in, but just to put a little bit, just say we're dedicating 10% of our reserves or cash into Bitcoin. Like, why would you not even say it? It works. It works. Anyways. We are in Moonvember, right? The average returns in November is even better than October. In October, average return is 22%. So we came in a little under this year. We got 11%, a little bit under 22%, but still, we eked out double digits. So that is a win. But in average, in November or Moonvember, 43%. Mostly because 2013, okay, so this is skewed because in 2013, November netted a 450% return. I don't think we'll ever see a month ever going forward where we will see a 450% return. So, you know, if you discount that year, if you average out all the other years, it's more probably in line with like a double digit, okay, or a single digit, because there are years where you can see there are red, right? So that 43% is actually gone. If you look at a medium, it's more like 7%. So nevertheless, it's still normally a good month. But here's the thing. We know this month there are many catalysts. Next week in the US, we have a big elections coming up. I mean, many elections, not just one. But the biggest one is we will get a new president, and then we're going to get a new Congress. We're going to get a lot of new things. Okay? That's going to be a big thing. And number two, we're going to get another FOMC meeting. And we're going to get another rate cut. And we're going to see what Fed Chair Powell's going to say. So we have two big, huge events coming up next week. That's going to set the stage for not only Moonvember, but also the Santa rally that's going to happen in December. And there's going to be another FOMC meeting in December too, with another rate cut. So we got a lot of big catalysts happening next 2 months. Even though a lot of you guys I know are not in the US, but like it still applies to you guys. It still applies because most of the volume is in the US. So yeah. And not only that, speaking of Moonvember, there's another catalyst. Tomorrow is the start of the new moon. So whenever there's a new moon or a full moon, generally speaking, there's some craziness that happens. Now, some people discount this, but you know, I have brought up the moon chart or the moon indicator on the charts. And if you look at it, there's always something wild when there's a full moon. So there's a new moon that's coming up in Moonvember that could also cause some disruptions in a good way. It could be a good way or a bad way, but I'm going to say it's a good way. I'm just going to throw that out there. So that is also something that's coming up. Outside of those things, as for charts, well, I mean, it hasn't changed since October. Looking at these long-term charts, nothing has changed. That giant cup and handle that I've been showing you guys could see it. You know, that giant cup and the handle breaking out in the handle every single time. Really, you could see every single halving basically. You could see that handle forming, and then we break out of the handle. That's still in play. And this is what it looks like. And we have broken out of it. We just haven't seen a huge pump upwards yet. But normally speaking, that happens in the next year. But we should, because of the catalyst of this month and December, we should see a pretty good rise at the end of this year, leading to six figures, $100,000 Bitcoin. And then that's when next year we see the top going up to wherever we end up. 200, 250, 300. Some people say even higher, 500,000. I don't know, but it's going to be higher than where we are now. That's what I know. It's going to be higher than now. All right. Outside of Bitcoin, this is a pretty scary picture. Outside of Bitcoin, what else is there? Vaneck decided to invest in Gunzilla Games, the off the grid game, which is the very first free game on console for Xbox and PS5 and on the PC. That's pretty cool. I've been hearing a lot about it. It's a AAA game. It looks fantastic. People have been playing it. So for Vaneck to invest in that, that's pretty exciting. And again, games have the potential, Web3 games, I should say, have the potential to bring in millions of people into the Web3 space as long as they're done right. So that's pretty exciting. Yesterday it was reported that Immutable says they received a Wells notice from the SEC, but according to them, it's a very vague notice. It doesn't really say what, but they think it could be involved with their sales of the IMX token, but they're not quite sure. But, you know, they could be settling, they could be not. I don't know. So it's kind of up in the air right now. What else is there? Injective introduces the very first native stablecoin called AUSD, backed by Vaneck and custodied by State Street. You know, just yesterday or the day before, I was talking about how like BlackRock and Vanguard like owns everything. State Street is up there too. State Street is like State Street and Fidelity. They're like part owners of everything too. So I don't know if it's a good idea to involve all these big Wall Street guys. They seem to like own everything, even though they're custodian at this point, but still. Seems like they own everything. All right. That's pretty much it. Bitcoin is recovering up pretty good, almost back to 71. If we could break above 71.4 and get back to 72K, it's almost like yesterday didn't happen, right? 70,900. That's why there's no need to be panicking. There's never a need to panic and panic sell. Panic sell never, ever, ever leads to good things. Never, ever. All right, let's do some Q&A. Okay, good. Coinbase up a little bit. This does not make up for the negative 15% yesterday, though. They need to go up 30% today to make up for the negative 15%, unfortunately. MicroStrategy down today. And then Nvidia up. Nvidia needs to go up 8% or 9% to make up there yesterday. Jose, thank you. Brent, I do. Thank you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate everyone's support, Brent. That's why I do what I do. Let's see. Jumper DCS world. Everyone who learns how Bitcoin works knows it's gonna go up forever. That's true. That's true. NMCT, not gonna lie, I'm super excited if Trump wins. I have no doubt we'll see a minimum of 85K, possibly a setup for 100K by the end of the year. I still think no matter what, we're going to get 100K this year. I think it's already baked in. Baked in 100,000 by the end of this year. I think we're primed. We're really like itching for a huge, gigantic pump after we break through all-time high. That's why it's been so. Oh, damn it! How do I reverse that? I forgot what I did. You guys know how to. What's the keys to reverse what you just did on TradingView? You know, like looking at MicroStrategy, after they broke through their March high, they just like took off. Control Z. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Control Z. That's good. Yeah. You look at MicroStrategy, after they broke through their March high, they just like went up 50%. I think that's what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Like the reason why we couldn't break above this, first of all, we were overbought. But second of all, the bears or the powers that be really did not want Bitcoin to break above that. Because once we break above, I think we're just going to fly to 80s and 90s like nothing. I think Bitcoin's going to follow the same pattern as MicroStrategy. Look at what happened after MicroStrategy broke through. Okay, so imagine this was 73K. You know what? You don't have to imagine. Let's just overlay on top of each other. Let's do it like this. On a daily. Kind of confusing here. Is this a daily? Is this daily? Daily. Doesn't work. No, this is not what I want to do. How do you overlay? I need to overlay. Okay. Add Bitcoin. There we go. No, that doesn't look either. That doesn't look right either. I can't really show it. All right, I'm just gonna go back. All right, I guess I'll just prove my point this way. So you could see this is the March high. So if you like pretend this is 73.8 Bitcoin back in March, okay, this is what MicroStrategy did. They hit about 200 back in March. So, you know, up and down, sideways, right? Up until around September, October timeframe. Once they surpassed it, they went up a little bit, down, and then boom, once they really passed it, they just didn't stop, right? And now they're at 240. So they're like 20, 30% higher. So that's going to be the exact trajectory for Bitcoin once we break above. It's like we're just not going to stop. We're going to keep going. And it's just a matter of time Bitcoin does that too. I know it's hard to see because I have all these lines drawn, but it's the same thing. We're following the same pattern. This is the same point. So once Bitcoin breaks through, we're going to be like going up here. It's be the same. It'll be like right up here, right? So if you look at it, that's that point. Like once we break through, it goes up. Bitcoin is going to be doing the same thing. Like once we break through here, Bitcoin's going to just go start going up like this. So it's just a matter of time. Hey, Sui is doing really well. Back to 207 again. Pretty nice. Sol coming up a little bit. Still pretty off from their 180s. All right, a few super chats. Aaron says or asks, how are you feeling about VET recently? Not so good. I've already answered this many times. I don't see the point of moving the sustainability route that they're doing. In Singapore, they had network parties where you went on a beach and picked up garbage because they were trying to promote their new better, app, which is an app to, clean up garbage, which is great. I get it. It's a good cause to help, clean up the earth, but that's the direction they're going. It's all about sustainability and going green and doing good. But I don't see a whole lot of people getting too excited about that direction. So I wish they do more, like go into games or Dexus or AI, in that direction. But I just don't see it. Jolamas, do you have any thoughts on Theta Fuel? No, I don't. I haven't touched or looked at Theta in a long time. I didn't look at the heat map today. There's not many big short liquidation walls going upwards. They're kind of all spread out, you could see, but not big ones. The next one is 71.4 at 8 million, 71.6, 9 million, 71.8, 7 million, 5 million, 5 million, 6 million, 4 million. I mean, you could go all the way up to like, this will be all-time high at 3 million, but like none of these are like 20 million or 15 million. They're all like 5, 5, 7, 5, Actually, it wouldn't be that hard to just break up into like 73 or 74. It people have learned. People closed all their shorts. I think people yesterday when we were going down, maybe they made a little money on their shorts and they're like, okay, this is a good time to close before we go back up or something. There are still some, but like they're not huge drastic ones. But there was a big one today at 70,100, about 12 million. That was just wrecked. And then there was a 8 million one at 70,300 wrecked. And then these were all wrecked. This one, 70,800, 911 million wrecked. 71,000 and 9 million wrecked. 71,206 million wrecked. But all the ones above are like, 3, 5 million. This is pretty good. I mean, actually, you know, looking at this, there's not much to stop us from here. And quite honestly, the 4-hour RSI has completely reset. You could see stochastic bottomed out and is coming up. RSI bottomed out at 38 is coming up. I mean, it bottomed out and is coming up, and we're only at 71. So, I mean, that gives us breathing room to climb up quite a lot before we top out again. Daily, you know, we were high for RSI. We've come down a little bit. We haven't completely reset, but this gives us, again, more breathing room. And weekly, we're not topped out yet. So, I mean, that dip actually helped us a lot. 1 hour. So what's a 1 hour's high? 1 hour stochastic's high, but the RSI is not. RSI is 64. It's not topped out. Look at it. The last time we hit 73.8, RSI was at 85 or 90. We're at 62 right now. So even the 1 hour is not as high as before. So we can certainly get back up here on the 1 hour before we top out. And the 4 hour is still way lower than before. So, and it's a new moon. So, and there's no short walls to really stop us at this point. I mean, it looks like the stars are aligning right now for today. Where's that? Where's that? Yeah, there we go. You see, right there. Today's the start of the new moon. It's not a full moon, but start of a new moon. New moons usually don't mean much. It's usually the full moons that you get pumps. New moons usually not anything. Actually, new moons usually are not anything. Joseph, you're still on CAN, huh? You just won't give up on CAN. All right, let's take a look. I mean, this is horrible, man. This is horrible. They hit $37 in the last cycle, and they're at $1.31. Or is this the reason why you keep asking about it? Because like you're trapped? Like, did you buy at the top? Is that why? Or you think it has a chance to get back to $37? That's a horrible, horrible looking chart. This is like an XRP chart, or like a, you know, yeah, this is like an XRP chart. I would stay far, far, far away from CAN, man. Like, this is what I've been saying. Like MicroStrategy or others, you have said, oh, you know, because the market cap on this is so much smaller, it should have a higher upside. But like, There's a reason why the chart looks like this. There's something fundamentally wrong. Otherwise, it should not be this low versus this 2021 high. Especially the stock market, it should not be like this. All right, let's compare it to Mara. I haven't looked at Mara. Let's see. Much better. It's not as, obviously it's not as high as this 2021 high, but it's not down like 99.9%. Let's look at the difference here. It is down 80%. Not great, but this is down just like, this is like a rug. 97%. Right? This is why I've told you, Joseph, just stick with MicroStrategy. It's the best performing Bitcoin related stock. And I don't think anything is going to outperform it. I don't think any of these mining stocks are going to outperform it because there's too much competition. The miners, they compete with each other. It's a dog-eat-dog world. One can overtake the other. There might be a power issue, local issue that forces them to move. There's too many variables, you know. There's only one MicroStrategy. So I mean, we're just stick with Bitcoin. I mean, I would not touch that. Perry, if Trump gets elected and he implements no tax on crypto, how much would that implement? Okay, Perry, you got it wrong. A lot of people got it wrong. He did not say there's no taxes on crypto. He said if you spend it on something, there's no capital gains tax. Meaning, if you go buy a cup of coffee, let's say, with your Bitcoin, then you don't pay taxes. Does not mean you don't pay taxes on all your crypto. Meaning, like, if you bought Bitcoin at $1 and now you're cashing out at $1 million, you don't pay taxes. That's not what he means. So you guys have to understand what he's trying to say and implement. And even because he says that, and it still doesn't make sense. Like, you can't do it that way. The counting doesn't make sense. That's like saying you bought Bitcoin at $1, now it's worth $1 million, and you go buy a house with your Bitcoin and it's worth $1 million. And just because you buy a house rather than cash it out, you pay no taxes on it. That's impossible. There's no way he can implement that. That would be silly. That would be the IRS would go bankrupt if that happened. So that's not even feasible. He was trying to do it in a way where if you spend crypto on like everyday things, you wouldn't be taxed on it. But if you think about it, that doesn't even make a lot of sense. Matthew, why did Matic split into two? Time to get rid of it because they're coming out. They're trying to compete better with the layer 2s. So that's why they have a poll token and they have their old Matic. I don't quite get the difference between the two. All I know is they've lost a lot of strength against the layer 2s. And from what I've heard, they're kicking out a lot of the gamers. So there's definitely some internal rife, I guess. They're definitely not as strong as last cycle. Let's just put it that way. Joamas, how do you feel about Gnosis, I have no idea. Not something I pay attention to. Your sentiment long or short term? I'm always bullish. So short term, long term, I'm bullish. Obviously, right now, we're right back to 71.3, so it's looking pretty good. No, we're not talking about no income tax. We're talking about what he said about Bitcoin recently, about um, like no tax on paying for things with your Bitcoin. Apple pays 10.2 billion European tax charge. They could pay 10 billion tax charge like it's nothing. You know, like if they could pay $10 billion like it's nothing, why can't they just say we're paying $10 billion or we're buying $10 billion for the Bitcoin, adding to our balance sheet, and then their stock will go up by like 6%. They Apple and all these guys, Microsoft, they have like $100 billion worth of cash just sitting there. They have so much cash they could just throw anywhere they wanted to. And they can't do anything with it because they would, they're so large. If they just do buyouts, they would like antitrust, accusations would fly left and right, and agencies and governments will come down on them. So all they can do really is just give dividends or do stock buybacks. But no one can complain if they just say they just buy Bitcoin. Like, who can complain about that? Like when Microsoft bought Activision, how many years it took and how many like legal, like stuff they had to go through before that went through. It's like, it's such a pain for these guys to buy anyone out. They could just say they buy Bitcoin. No one's going to complain about that. I'm going to try the chicken Big Mac today. You know what? They've been advertising that a lot. I wonder if that's any good. Is Suka dead? I don't know. I've never, ever, ever followed that project. And I always said it's silly to believe in a project just because, like, supposedly Ryoshi created it. Everyone keeps claiming that and no one has proof. And even if they had proof, does that mean anything? Ryoshi isn't Satoshi. If I have a check engine light on, should I slap on electrical tape and let it ride? No, better yet, you take out the light bulb and let it ride. Or you take out the light bulb and trade it in. If you get a chicken Big Mac, make sure to eat it while you're sitting on the toilet. It can't be that bad, John. It can't be that bad. Randy, my Supra arrives Monday. Congrats. Hopefully, you decide to get a 6-speed one. Tell me you got a 6-speed one rather than that 8-speed auto. Man, Sui is on fire today. 209. Look at that recovery. The memes like Whiff and Pepe, not a little recovery. Coinbase of 5%, man, barely nothing compared to yesterday. I need to see it go up 30% back to 220. I don't even want to check my account today. I think my options basically went to zero after yesterday. I can't believe I mean, yesterday's panic just like made people overreact. There's no reason why they should have gone down 15% yesterday. That was just stupid. Just stupid. Idiotic. MicroStrategy turned green. It was just red for some reason, and now it turned green. That was just weird too. Jupiter back above $1. Pretty good recovery. PCM performance, A90 Super MK4. Secondly, would you take a look at Lagan? What's Lagan? I don't know what that is. Or Igon? Do I know what that is? I guess MK4. I mean, does anyone still like it? Growing up, that was the thing, but I don't know if anyone cares about that Supra anymore because all the cars now are crazy fast. You know what they say about Supras? Doesn't matter if you have 300 horsepower or 1,000 horsepower. They all run 10s. Is it 10s or what was the saying go? I think, or 12s or maybe 11s. I forgot how the saying goes. It was like, I think it was 10s. It doesn't matter if you have 300 or 1,200 horsepower, they all run 10. I don't remember what this project is. Cloud storage. Oh, it's a deep pin play on Cardano. I like D-Pin. It's just that everything on... I'm just going to say I'm neutral on everything on Cardano because Cardano itself right now is extremely weak. Like, you just look at the chart of Cardano, it's just like zero momentum right now. I know a lot of people are very hopeful for like this Bitcoin liquidity that's going to like somehow massively rush in. I have my doubts. Like, I just don't see why a lot of Bitcoin liquidity would all of a sudden rush into Cardano's community. Like, I don't know why, just because a bridge is formed, but we'll see. Maybe it does help. But I do like deep pin plays though. I do, and they're in that field. You know what's a car I've been considering? The 2004, the first, I don't know if it's considered first gen or second gen of the NSX with the fixed headlights and not the pop-up headlights, the fixed headlights, and in a nice like orange. Um, they're holding really well. All the car prices have come down. That one is holding really well. And I think that would be a really nice car to get. And and there's a real crowd for that NSX. Yeah, I think IAG or Igon, I don't know if that's how you say it, Igon or whatever it is. I think deep in plays like that, like cloud storage or cloud computing, I think overall they're all great. Akash is one on Cosmos, Flux is one, that one. I think they're all great because they're decentralized like AWS. The cost to use them are way less and they're more way reliable and people could also make money by contributing to them. So I think overall they're great. Um, so yeah. Does a Supra sound better? Does it really? They're all inline sixes. They should all sound the same. And a NSX is a mid-engine. Supra is front. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just based on your preference. Supras are definitely much faster, and you could tune them much faster. Please add Dogecoin to your watch list. I do. Okay, fine. I really don't, but want to. But since they've been going up more, I'll do it. I'll add it under my memes section. It actually did recover pretty well from the bottom too. We're recovering really well. We just shattered through this resistance once again. And I mean, like, there's really not that much holding us back. 7 million, 7, 7. I mean, there's a few 7 millions here. These are all like 3, 4 million. I mean, if you're looking at that, like going all the way up to 75 million, there's really, I mean, I'm 75,000. From here to 73, 74, 75, it's all just like little 3, 4, 5 million liquidations. There's no more huge 20 million, 25 million liquidation walls. It's pretty clear. If we get more momentum today, we can form a new all-time high. Ledger Nano S Plus no longer works on an iOS device. How do I get my crypto off that platform onto something else? Just take your recovery phrase and restore on another wallet. That's it. Keep in mind, all wallets, it doesn't matter what device or what hardware, it's just a recovery phrase. They're all interchangeable. Just take that recovery phrase and put it on another wallet. It could be your Trust wallet. It could be on your Coinbase wallet. It could be any wallet. Just restore it somewhere else. That's it. That's it. And you get all your crypto back. Or get another hardware wallet that works on iOS device. Even if you restore on a wallet that doesn't support all of your coins, it's not like your coins disappear. It'll always be there. You could just restore it on another wallet. Like you could do it on MetaMask. You could do it on Phantom, Rabby, whatever. You could keep restoring it on a wallet until you get all your coins back, where you can add the coin to the wallet or the chain to the wallet to get it. That's why the recovery phrase is the most important thing that you have to safeguard, not the physical wallet itself. The ledger or the treasure or the SafePal or whatever, they're meaningless. It's the recovery phrase that is the most important. John, sold my 64 Chevelle SS. Man, I really would love to get a muscle car. I just don't think I would look good driving around in a muscle car. It would just look weird for like an Asian to drive around like an old muscle car. But I really would love to drive around like a 69 Camaro SS, like those really chopped up ones, or like a really souped up one. I just think the muscle cars, they don't build cars like them anymore. Marshmallow. You should get a VE Malo. I don't I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. What's the car in Supernatural? What was that? Was it Chevelle? I think they were driving. Was it a Chevelle that was in Supernatural? That was a cool car. Oh, Impala, yeah, that's it. That was a four-door Impala too. It's so weird. It's a four-door Impala without a B pillar. I don't even know how they made that possible. It looks wild. It doesn't look like it's a four-door, but it's a four-door without a B pillar. I've never seen a car like that before. I bet, due to safety, they can't make cars like that anymore. All right. Well, it's been another long stream. Man, my streams are getting way too long. It's a full hour. I used to get off after a half hour. Anyways, it's a good recovery day. Had a good chat. And it's a Friday. And it's Moonvember. So. All right, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy November 1st. We got a lot of great things happening this month. Starting next week. Starting today, actually. Back above 71.4. That's a really good thing. I will see you guys on Monday. Tomorrow I'll have another crypto cruise video for you guys. Then a Sunday walk. And maybe by this Sunday, we'll be at an all-time high once again. Maybe we'll be right back up to 74, 75,000 by this Sunday. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.